years of strength, will, and desire, building a future for me and you. Let's get inspired and shine the spotlight on the CUSW. Hello, and welcome to the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, brought to you by the Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, established in 1999. CUSW has been empowering its members and shaping the future of skilled trades for over 25 years. In this podcast, we shine a spotlight on the people, stories, and values that make CUSW a strong and dynamic community. It's an exciting time to be part of this union, and we're here to celebrate the journey, achievements, and dedication of skilled workers. So turn up the volume and let's get started. Here's your host for the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, Mr. Dan Plexman.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's time to flick the switch, and it's time to turn on the CUSW Spotlight. Today, we're going to be sparking up a conversation with our good friend, our colleague, and our fellow CUSW member, Alina Murray. Hey, Alina, how are you today?
I'm great, Dan. How are you?
Oh, very good. Thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's quite an honor to be on your show, so I'm glad I could be here.
We're very glad to have you on. To get things started, maybe you could tell the viewers at home, the listeners at home, a little bit about yourself, who you are before CUSW, how do you fit into the CUSW family?
So I currently am the chair of the Southwest Unit. I'm also on the National Apprentice Committee, NAC. And I currently am a fifth term electrical apprentice going for my 309A license. I am a mom. I have three little blessings. They're aged 15, and then I have two little boys that are 7 and 11. Sorry, forgot the ages there for a second.
Oh, no, it's all good.
I'm also a wife, married to my husband for 14 years as of this year, and we've been together for 21 years, so high school sweethearts. Prior to CUSW, out of high school, I went to college for photography. I was a self-employed photographer and stay-at-home mommy for about 14 years. And coming into this career, after my youngest was born, my husband had started developing some issues with his back. And being self-employed, we were concerned that my income wouldn't be able to sustain us. So I had decided after Wyatt was born to go back to school. And then I took a 2-year electrical power distribution course at Lambton College. Graduated from that during COVID, then joined CUSW in December of 2020 and started working in February the following year in 2021. And yeah, it's been quite an adventure since. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. We really haven't had a lot of time to really share experiences together. Like we've worked together on a few jobs, like doing events and taking training courses together.
Mhm.
And we do know each other. We're colleagues, but until you hear someone's real backstory, you don't really understand what people have experienced and done in their lives before CUSW. Like you see people walking around with their hard hats and on the job site and doing what they're doing, but everybody's got such an amazing story to tell. I never would have guessed you had such an extensive experience, both at home, doing what you do with your family life, and the different roles you already have within CUSW, especially being I think you said 2020 you started with CSW, so you've been with CSW for 5-6 years now.
Mhm.
And I do know you do wear a few hats and a few roles within the CUSW, both on the job site and within the form and functions and participating with the union. You contribute quite a bit. I'm just curious, within your 6 years, 5 years of CUSW experience, what's been one of your shining moments
one of the first committee days that I had attended. I think now we call them the National Capacity Building events. I think it was the second or third one that I had ever attended. So I was still very new, and there was a lot of people within our union that I don't know personally because I'd never really met them or interacted with them. So I was a little anxious going in because I knew from our committee I was likely the only person that was going to be attending that day from the apprentice committee. So going in, I kind of sat on my own, and I'm a little shy when I first meet people. Like I'm not always crazy and outgoing. But
Yeah.
once you get to know me, I really open up. So I didn't really know anyone and I was nervous. But by the end of that committee day, I had a whole different outlook on the way that our union runs and the way that everybody interacts. And it was amazing. I was sitting on my own, but I had several different people approach me and like talk to me, and then other committees that wanted to work with my committee, and it was fantastic. I was afraid that I was going to be alone and sit there the whole day by myself, and I felt like a member of the family when by the time that the day was done. It was nice to know that I was included and accepted, and it was fantastic. It was great.
Well, I can segue a little bit with your experience going to the capacity building training events that we've both taken part of together. And you're
Mhm.
saying sometimes we're a little bit nervous, kind of like being like a one-man show where you feel like you're a one-man show because you don't really know everybody, you haven't really interacted with everybody at this type of capacity. Uh, and sometimes when like we go to these events and there's separate committees where each committee they form like a little team, and as humans, as people go, sometimes the competitive edge pops out where it's like, okay, you almost have like this attitude where I'm competing against, like when you group people together, each group competes against each other. And I've been in
Mhm.
situations like this throughout my life with sports and whatever, and it doesn't happen here with CUSW at our events like this because I've
Mhm.
seen such an overlapping among the committees where we have a few members who take part and they sit on three or four different committees because they're helping out some members that need that help, even though they've got a full plate on their own. It's like, I'll take a little bit more because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So I do find that really refreshing if I could play along with what you were saying there.
Yeah, it's nice that you don't have to just commit to one role. It's nice that you can actually take on several hats if you're interested in doing it. So being the chair and then also being on the apprentice committee, it's nice that I can help in multiple ways and be included in multiple ways. And I definitely enjoy being a part of the apprentice committee because I like being the voice of the apprentices. I like that other apprentices can come to me if they're feeling they have an issue with something or if they need some advice. I'm happy to be that person that they can come to interact with. And I love being able to bring any suggestions to national because it's a way of us growing and becoming bigger and stronger, and it's great.
Oh, for sure. I could only imagine some of the not anxiety, but anticipation that you might have, or especially your earlier years with CUSW, hitting a construction site where it's a male dominated, what is it, like 70, 80%, 90% of the workforce is male. And
Oh,
so,
yes.
and you're a female coming to an unfamiliar industry, apprentice. So you're representing quite a wide range of people
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I'm sure there's a lot of people looking up to you and coming to you for direction and answers, especially knowing that you wear these different hats.
Well, even on my social media page, there's been times where I've posted like different images of me at work with permission. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from other young women or other men that say, like, oh, my daughter has been thinking about getting into the trades, and just seeing your pictures and knowing that you're out there and you're doing this is a great inspiration to other young women. Just knowing that, like, it's not just guys there, it's a little bit of everybody. And if I can do it, then they can definitely do it. So,
Yeah, for sure. And it's really inspiring and a little bit captivating how you've reversed the typical roles within your own household as well. Uh,
yeah.
I Myself, I was raised in a construction family. My mom was into construction work, but she was a nurse. My dad was a truck driver, a machine operator. He was always working out of town construction. And I could only imagine if the roles were reversed in my childhood. Let's say in 1980, I was like 7 years old, I guess. My mom was working shift work at the hospital. My dad was working pipeline. He came home for the weekend and he's taking us grocery shopping. He's got a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and like a 7-year-old child pushing a buggy through the grocery store. He's never gone grocery shopping besides picking up steaks for a barbecue. You know what I mean? Uh, we came home with the groceries, and this is like 1980, and the bill was like $500, and there was only like a couple days worth of food. And my mom was like, "What kind of shopping are you doing?" Like, so I could only imagine. I think things have changed a little bit since the 80s kind of thing, but I could only imagine if things reversed completely like they have been for you in my life.
Mm. Well, even when I first started with CUSW, it was definitely a bit of a change for our household as well. When I was stay-at-home mommy, I was the one that would make sure the kids had their lunches packed. I was always the one to get them off to school. I was always the one to do groceries and do the shopping and take them places, whereas my husband worked full time. So now he still works, but the roles have kind of reversed a little bit, whereas he's the one that's attending field trips and making sure lunches are packed and getting them out the door because my work schedule is significantly different than his. And there's a lot of times too where I'll be on the road and he's got to take on wearing multiple hats of mommy and daddy because I'm not around as much, but it's been a positive change for our family. It's nice to have the double income. We've been able to take the kids on trips that we never dreamed that we could take, and our life is so much more now than it was before. So, and my kids aren't like babies if they were infants. I don't know if I'd leave him with three little babies. That'd be a little harder for me too. But yeah, just even being on the road as a mom has its challenges. And thank God for technology nowadays. I can call my kids at any time. I can video chat with them so I can see them or they can see me if they need me. It's still not the same as being in person, but it's it's a sacrifice that we've had to make and everybody has adapted well to it. So it's a very positive change, let's just say that. And I wouldn't be able to do it without Tyler, my husband. He has been like my number one cheerleader. There's been days where I've come home and after working on a construction site with a bunch of dudes, I'm a little more exhausted and mentally drained. And he's always backing me up and saying, "You can do this, like you got this." Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it without him, that's for sure.
I can attest to that. I personally know the power that a strong partner gives you and a supportive partner. That's for sure. It's very refreshing to hear that someone else is experiencing the same I've had. Um, I kind of think it's neat how you're describing Tyler as kind of playing Mr. Mom at home, the role reversal. But I've worked with a few women on job sites, and when you have let's say you got 10 guys in a crew and you have one woman, I feel the maternal instinct of the woman kind of comes to life even on the job site. And there's a lot of guys who are tapping the woman on the shoulder saying, "Can you give me a little bit of advice?" And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, does that happen with you on the job site? Because I experienced it on a couple job sites where it's kind of endearing actually, where you have some young guys and older guys asking for a woman's advice on a job site, whether you're kicking rocks with construction boots, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely there's been many sites where I am the only female on site, and it's very different, even for me. Like, I know for them, sometimes when I'm new to a site, for instance, I can feel that they kind of tiptoe around me just to get a sense of who I am and what I'm about. And usually I crack a few good jokes, and then they know I'm pretty easygoing and they can get along with me. And I am a nurturer at heart, so I have had on many occasions guys approach me if they're having something going on at home and they just need some advice or somebody to talk to and just vent to, and I'm happy to be that person too because I know it's not easy. I know the guys can be rough on each other. Don't get me wrong, the dynamic is changing. It's even in the time that I've been in construction, people don't have to leave their feelings at the gate. Like you don't have to just man up and take it. Like a lot of the guys, they've opened up to me too and told me about their problems at home or whatever. And I try and give a female perspective of like, oh, maybe you could try doing this, or maybe you should listen and do this. And they don't have to take my advice, obviously, but it's nice to, I don't know, be that person that they come to and be able to know that I fit into the crew too. It's nice that they don't exclude me. I've worked on many different sites and I've worked with many different people, and I've always felt included. I've always felt that the guys like me there, and yeah, it's been fantastic. So,
Yeah, it's refreshing to see this change that you talked about, especially in the last few years. I've experienced it myself, and it's really it feels really good to be part of the change as well, because we all are making this happen. It's not just a one thing or one law, one regulation. It's a whole conglomerate of effort from everybody. It's really nice to see that the industry in general, they're starting to recognize how our home life affects the work life and the work life affects the home life. And it's okay for us to admit that we're not okay today. We don't have to fake it until we make it. We don't have to just drudge through it. And hopefully we get through the day, because we all know it's the unsafe way, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm really glad to be having this conversation with you, because people are getting it now. Like they're
mhm,
hearing it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Um, we've been talking about a lot of the good stuff with CUSW, and our union is good. We all try our hardest. We do what we can. But any industry, any organization, any group, individually, none of us are perfect. It's true. Do you see any room for improvement, or any areas that we can improve as union members, as people, home life, work, any kind of improvement you can think of?
having, I would say, we have a very strong group. Like we have a bunch of people that are at CUSW that are incredible individuals, and I could see us being stronger and better with more participation, especially from members. Like if you don't really know what the union is about, if you haven't really been involved in any events, I would say get out there and talk to your unit members and your unit executive. Be a part of an activity or an event. Bring your family. One of the best ways that CUSW can improve and become stronger and better as a whole. So, yeah.
It's true. It's um, contributing to the union, participating in what we do. It's just as simple as raising your hand.
Hmm.
I'll do that. I'll try. Sometimes I volunteer for stuff that I've never done before with CUSW, and I just tell them, I've never done this, but I want to try. I want to learn it.
Yeah.
And the things you learn about yourself when you're trying something new, and you have the support of, it's not just one person, it's not a group, or it's tangible. It's something big here that there's always support. It's pretty cool. So I find it really encouraging to know I can approach CUSW with my ideas, and they listen to my ideas. And that's just how it is being a member. Like, we're a member driven group.
Absolutely. Actually, a few years ago, I was approached by another organization, another union, and I contemplated just having a peek over the fence, kind of see what other options are out there. What else could I be doing? Is there something maybe better if I kind of looked around a little, and I ended up going to an interview, and this interview, going into it, I was waiting in the parking lot. I was dressed in my dirty work clothes because I had just got off work to go to this interview. So my lovely orange high vis, and I'm waiting in my vehicle and I'm watching other individuals go into the building for their interviews, and they're dressed in three-piece suits. And they've got folios in their hand with, I'm assuming it was references and other documents. And my turn came, and I went in for my interview, and I put down my keys and my knife and my roll of electrical tape on the table, sat down, and in front of a panel of about a dozen men, I said, well, gentlemen, if you want me, this is what you're going to get. So and I did my interview. I did quite well. They actually offered me a job. And one of the main reasons I said no to that job was because in that panel, there wasn't a single female. And it's kind of disheartening knowing that eventually I would like to move up. I would like to have opportunities that I felt I wouldn't be given at that particular establishment. At CUSW, I know that if I wanted to, I could move up the ladder. I have plenty of opportunities available to me, and that's amazing as a young woman in this industry. It's great to know that if I want to go higher, I can. And that's why I decided I don't need to look around. I don't need to look over the fence over there. I'm happy exactly where I am. So,
Yeah, I can attest to that. I agree. Through my experience starting my apprenticeship in Alberta and then coming back to Ontario, my original hometown, when I first started my apprenticeship, I was basically told, "You're an apprentice, eyes and ears open, mouth shut. No one wants to hear what you have to say. Do what you're told," kind of thing. There wasn't really a lot of respect. Lots of times I was called the apprentice instead of Dan or my name, sort of thing. And now I see how things work with the CUSW movement and with our group. We have so many opportunities for apprentices to actually participate in the form and functions of our union and to actually make changes, like direct changes for their own workforce and for their own work sites.
mhm.
Uh, that option was never around when I started, so it's really encouraging to see that you're recognizing that and you're seeing it within us.
Mhm.
I'm thinking we're talking a lot about the past, the present, how fortunate we are to be part of the CUSW movement. Um, I'm just curious, what do you look forward to in the future with your involvement with the CUSW?
I am currently a fifth term apprentice, so I am looking forward to this year getting licensed, which will be fantastic. Nice little pay bump too, which is always good. And then I don't know, the world is my oyster. I would love to be involved more with the union, but I don't really have any particular position that I'm going for. I love being involved. So I plan to stay with the apprentice committee for now and then probably add myself to another committee or two. And even within my unit, right now I'm currently the chair of the Southwest. The guys that I've got on my executive are a fantastic group of people, and I honestly don't know what I would do without them. There's been many times where I've questioned whether I know what I'm doing or if I'm doing the right thing, and they've always had my back and they've always encouraged me and said that I've apparently have been the first female chair for the Southwest. So that's a nice little accomplishment as well. I hope that they keep me on and we can take our unit to bigger and better places. So I don't know what I would do without them. It's nice to be surrounded by people that are within our union and so supportive and feel like family. Like it's amazing.
It certainly does. It certainly does feel like family. It's probably going to sound corny to the viewers and listeners at home, but we really are a family. Like we do have that feeling with our group, and it's just nice to be part of it. I'm going to uh, I'm going to take you out of the spotlight a little bit, and I'm going to put you under the microscope right now.
Ooh.
Um, do you have any regrets
Ah,
with our involvement with CUSW, or even regrets as far as life, communication, whatever? Like, do you have anything that you want to do over? Maybe I don't know.
so one thing I really wish I had done sooner, I never really understood the dynamic of the union. I had never been a part of a union, being self-employed at my work Christmas parties. It was usually me having a glass of wine by myself. So I wish I would have got more involved with the union sooner, like with the executives and with the events. And that's my one thing. I waited a year or two before I started attending meetings and that kind of thing. Before I became the chair, I joined our executive as the recorder for the Southwest, and I never really understood what it was all about. And the guys that I had been working with at the time kind of gathered together to get things rolling, and I joined in, and it's been an incredible experience just being on the executive and being the chair. And I wish, if anything, I would have started that ball rolling sooner. And any new members to our union should definitely look into taking part in an event, joining a committee, like just being active, being a part of it, because our union, it is only as strong as the people that are on these committees and on the executive. And the more influence we have from others, the better we'll be and the stronger we'll be. So yeah, that's probably one of my main regrets, I guess.
That's a great answer, and I concur 100%. As I get older and look back on my life, I don't really regret the things I've done. I'm usually regretting the things that I didn't do, or
Exactly.
the opportunities that I didn't take, or the chances, some of the chances that I didn't take.
Mhm.
So that's, yeah, I think a lot of us just feel that way, especially as we get a little bit older, like ourselves. Not that you're old, sorry.
I feel it some days, don't get me wrong.
I hear you. Sometimes I get out of bed, I'm thinking, man, oh man, what did I do? Um, okay. As we get to the end of the show, do you have any parting messages, anything that you'd like to share with the viewers, the listeners at home? And like all my questions, it doesn't have to be specific for CUSW. We'd like to hear any perspective, any take you have on how we can be better people at work, at home, at life, whatever message you want to give.
One thing that I definitely is anytime I'm talking to any women that we work with or apprentices that we work with is I always tell them never be afraid to advocate for yourself, never be afraid to speak up, never be afraid to ask a stupid question, because that stupid question could be something that you think is stupid, but it's actually something that other people that you're working with, other people that you're around may not have thought of. And it's actually an amazing question, or it's a question that you're in a group of people and several other people are thinking the same thing, but they're afraid to speak up. And don't get me wrong, I've asked a lot of dumb questions in my time as an apprentice. And coming into this career, I had no idea how to wire a switch. I had no idea how to use any type of, I knew how to use a drill, maybe. I think I was pretty okay at that, but I had never used like a portaband. I had never used like a mag drill. So making sure that you're advocating for yourself and asking those questions. You always want to keep yourself safe, obviously, for one, because we work in conditions that are absolutely unforgiving. Like you go to the wrong panel or you connect the wrong switch or wrong cable, and your life could be in danger, or the life of the next guy that comes to that panel. So you want to make sure you're asking the right questions. You want to make sure you're speaking up. Like gone are the days like you talked about earlier of when apprentices should be seen and not heard. Um, and especially for the women, because we are still not as common on the job site. We are starting to gain more of a presence, but the last thing you want to do is get hurt and you want to go home. You want to go home in the condition that you came into work. So never, ever be afraid to speak up for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Stand up, speak out, ask
Mhm.
questions. The stupidest question might save a life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how stupid is that? Give me a break. You know? Uh, okay. We really appreciate you taking your time to be on the show with us today and sharing your experiences. We've learned a lot about you, and as usual, we're learning a lot about the CUSW movement and what we're doing as a union, conglomeratively and individually. So we truly thank you for taking part. Thanks, Alina.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I definitely love being a part of your show. So,
Hey, you did great. We had a good time talking with you. For everybody at home, the viewers, listeners, to contact Alina Murray, to contact myself, if you have any show ideas, any suggestions, maybe you want to be a guest on the show, please refer to the show description. You can find all of our contact information there, and we really look forward to hearing from you. And thanks everybody for joining us. And until we see each other again, keep shining that CUSW spotlight. Thank you.
Thank you for shining bright in the CUSW spotlight. Let's get inspired and shine a spotlight on the CUSW.